American Republicans are liberals. No, you might say, that is what Democrats are usually referred to. Well, that is the way the term liberal is usually used in the USA, but originally the term liberal contains the expression liber, which is also contained in the word liberty. So it basically means freedom. So a liberal is someone who is in favor of freedom. So in the political sense, a liberal is someone who says the state should give the citizens of a country as much freedom as possible and should meddle into their affairs as little as possible. In contrast to that, a non-liberal would be of the opinion that sometimes the state has to intervene and has to make certain regularizations and stipulate certain things because that way it's best for the whole society. A good example to show the difference is the healthcare system of a certain country. So, for example, most American Republicans, such as Ted Cruz, say, let people make their own decision whether they want to be covered by health insurance. If they say, yeah, I want to be covered and I'm paying for it, so if I become sick, then I will be covered by health insurance and I don't have to pay everything myself, then that's fine. But on the other hand, if they say, no, I don't want to pay my money for that because I don't think I will become sick, and then if I do become sick and can't even pay the whole treatment, well then that's my own mistake, my own fault, so please let me do my own decision what to do with my money. In contrast to that, the system in most European countries is different. So I live in Germany and here healthcare system is obligatory. So I pay my taxes and I have to pay for health insurance, whether I want or not. So if I get sick, I will be covered by health insurance. People who are in favor of such an obligatory system might actually argue that someone might become severely ill, and if he or she is then not covered by health insurance, he or she might not be able to afford a doctor and might even die. So it's actually a question of life or death. And when it comes down to life or death, then the state must intervene and must take away that freedom of choice for your own good. So what does that have to do with drugs? Well, actually the whole thing is quite similar. In most countries in the world, drugs, and especially hard drugs, are prohibited. And the thinking behind that is probably that drugs are can be very detrimental to someone's health. And if someone starts to take drugs and then becomes addicted and can't stop anymore, then he or she might strongly regret their decision to have tried drugs. And that is so problematic that the state actually needs to take away someone's freedom of choice. It's basically for their own good. So when you think about it, isn't it actually quite funny that those parties, so in the US, some Democrats like Bernie Sanders, who argue in favor of an obligatory healthcare system, are also those who are and want to take away their freedom of choice when it comes down to healthcare, are those who are actually in favor of giving people the freedom of choice when it comes down to taking drugs, or at least when it comes down to taking soft drugs like marijuana. Most Republicans, on the other hand, who always talk about freedom, so for example when it comes down to gun control, they say people should have the choice to decide whether they want to own a gun or not. Or, as I said, when it comes down to health insurance, they're saying people should have the right to decide for their own whether they want to be covered by health insurance and pay money for that or not. But when it comes down to drugs, even soft drugs, they basically say no, it's so dangerous, people should not have the freedom to choose whether they want to take soft drugs or not. So that's what I'm saying. Republicans, such as Ted Cruz, would, in order to be coherent, actually have to be in favor of legalizing at least soft drugs. What do you think about it? Thanks for watching the video.